you had to flip because the love from your parents were too much and they couldn't risk leaving you 4 or 5 hours of a drive in another school, and they brought you back, and there you've gone and visited the school. And we want to know how this boy who was heavily loved by his parents, how a baby who was pampered. Most times in Africa, when a baby is over pampered or anywhere in the world, they don't turn out quite well. But you turn out to be quite different. And the story continued from the school. Pick it up from there, Emperor.
I don't know. Anyway, so done with the school. I drove with my dad in his car, and he dropped me off somewhere I have never been to. That's why I said it's like I walked through the valley of shadow of death.
So you're like David.
That is the right phrase. Yeah. I walked through the valley of shadow of death. And my father just said, okay, guy, I'll stop here and I'm driving to my place. I'm going, so I'll leave you here. You see this road? This road takes you to Isuawa, because my mother was in the village.
Yeah.
And who are you? You know, not these days when our kids will look in your face and question you.
Yeah.
Say, Dad, why should I do that, for example? Who are you to challenge your father?
You will receive a smack.
Oh my God. He wasn't even there. And my father was just such a strong man. I wouldn't call him a terror. He wasn't a terror, but he dared not. He dared not. He dared not.
Yeah.
Anyway, he
the
just
size
said,
will tell you what
correct,
the situation will be. Yeah.
You know,
He
said, just walk through this path. Bush path. My guy. I walked through that path. And the story, well, some stories were told in the folk tales, you know?
Yeah.
Tales by moonlight. You know?
Yeah.
So folk tales, when we're growing up, we will have a lot of folk tales. They will be telling stories of how such areas are infested with spirits, evil spirits.
Yes.
people when you die, like you commit something in the village and you die like that, they will just go and dump you there. They won't bury you. And so it's a evil, kind of an evil forest, an evil. So now I just remembered this could be this way. My God, I was struck with fear. But do I have a choice? What choice do I have, really? And my father drove off. Don't you understand?
So you have to trek this forest and actually get home.
I will have to walk through that path
and get home.
To get home.
Yeah.
That was the toughest moment in my life.
How old were you?
Maybe about 12 or 10, 12. That was the toughest moment in my life. A young boy, treasured boy, pampered boy. And this man left me
the one
here.
they would never allow sit down alone.
Exactly. I walked through this path. Walking through this forest was so calm, but for every little move, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
the
moment has come.
This moment has come.
Yeah,
they're going to devour me now.
Yeah.
I would just freeze.
Yeah,
I would just freeze and start tiptoeing like they shouldn't hear my footpath. The height of the moment was when I saw a man walking opposite direction.
Yeah.
And he was like,
wow.
Okay, now I'm going to be like a mincemeat. This man is going to make me a mincemeat. I wouldn't know whether it's a man or evil spirit or a ghost walking around.
Or just a normal human being.
Don't forget, or just a normal human being. Because don't forget that this area was described as a place where they just dump people who die some unnatural death. Oh God, I said, okay, I'm going to be devoured today. And I was like, I started panting. I was panting until we crossed each other and I greeted, "Good morning, sir." He said, "Good morning." He didn't say anything. He just walked across. And I'm like, is this true? So when I walked a little bit, I turned back and he was still walking. He didn't disappear because to me, he would disappear.
Yeah.
You know, the ghost.
Yes.
The ghost would disappear.
And he didn't respond to you when you say good morning?
He just, good morning. Yeah. But that was like, so the moment I walked past him, I had to run. It took me, I would say it's a walk of about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you know the distance.
Wow.
It's a walk of 2 hours until I got home. My dear brother, that was a turning point of making this guy who was like a lily gel to be, to start becoming a man. Yeah. And when I got home and I told my mother this story, my mother passed out and said it was murderous for my dad to have done that kind of, to have taken that kind of decision. But anyway.
And I know that in Nigeria, that can be such a very, we watch in Nigerian movies and how they can express some of that moment.
Oh yeah, it was a moment my mother couldn't just, I say she passed out in awe and shock how my father could do that. I have never been anywhere on my own.
That was the first time.
And only for me to be left alone to do that work. Yeah. So, what's the book written by Nelson Mandela? He said it's Long Walk to Freedom.
The Long Walk to Freedom, yes.
The long Walk to Freedom.
So you felt that was the Long Walk to Freedom for you?
Yeah. Long Walk to Freedom for me then.
Yeah.
I think I did it before Nelson Mandela.
This is the CEO Bench. We're talking to Emperor Baywood. He believes that he's a young man, in an old body or an aged mind, yes. So Emperor Baywood, what a stunning story there of from child to manhood, so to speak. That's how you rediscovered yourself. That's how your father had to make sure. There was wisdom there, though. I want to take you straight, Emperor, to some really very interesting question about, life. And a lot of us see people like you, and sometimes we're wondering whether we really understand you or not. You are now, been through that school, done that, and after that school, where did you end up?
Well, after school, I had to move to Kaduna because my brother, although not the same mother, is my first cousin. But because of how we relate in the family, we have nothing like cousins. Yeah. It's brother, right? My brother, who has been in oil business, he's been in oil and gas. So they built Kaduna Refinery. Yeah. He was one of the major proponents of Kaduna Refinery with a group from Japan called Chiyoda. So, done with the school, of course, that's another kettle of fish. That school is another school that is a school that really prepared me for the challenge ahead.
How did it prepare you for the challenge?
Oh yeah, that school was like almost a congregation of retired, or I won't say retired, defeated soldiers of the Biafran War. We had this fratricidal war in Nigeria, Biafran-Nigerian war that was between 1960 to 1966, or talking about. Yeah. So the war ended. Thereafter, then there came normalcy in Nigeria. So I didn't see the war. I was a very young boy. I was born during those periods. So I went to school, and getting to that school, the war had ended, and all those who left army after Nigeria had defeated Biafra, and a lot of our guys who were in the army then found themselves in that college. Dear brother.
Yeah. That problem now.
That was another working to develop of that. Those Biafran soldiers.
Yes.
Some of them were having shell shock. You know what shell shock?
Yeah.
Because of bombardment of mortars and stuff and shells. You know what? They're already having issues with their hearing. They already had hearing issues. Right?
Yeah.
And they were military in the college. Soldiers in the college. And here comes this young boy at the school, amongst others. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I went to a military school. Literally saying that the school was more like a military school.
Yeah.
So you were drilled, you were punished, you were living a regimented lifestyle, you had people or masters that you serve, and God bless your soul, if
If you don't serve them well.
If you don't do well.
Yeah.
The punishment, the drill, a lot of us couldn't stand it. So for people like us who went through that school and stood up to them and passed through, I think it was a turning point, actually.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was one hell of school that toughened a lot of us. Smoking in their hand was just like drinking water. And this is when I know that I'll be a good boy, because I did it once, but I was walking in the air.
All the time.
No. When I tested it,
yes.
when they make you to smoke in their hand, right?
Yes.
So one time I did it, I was just floating. I was like somebody in the Mars.
Yeah.
You know, if you see the astronauts, how they float.
Yes.
This is where I saw myself floating.
Yeah.
And that told me that this is not a thing you can continue. That's one thing that I learned out of that. I had to cut. I couldn't proceed. Anyway, that school toughened me.
Yeah.
And it prepared us for the launch pad.
Yeah.
It was a launch pad for us, actually.
Yeah.
Those of us who went to the school.
Yeah.
A good number of us became useless. A good number of us, people didn't know that would turn out to be good people.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty happy that a good number of us are doing pretty well. And one of us today is the country director, head of UN in Rwanda, and many others. We have a lot of them in Army generals. Yeah. You know, and I'm happy that my father took that decision. If I'd gone to the other school that is meant for the bourgeois, children of bourgeois, perhaps I may not have turned out the way I turned out to be today. Wow. And again, hindsight, I thank God that my father took that decision.
Wow. Talking of that, Emperor, let's look at, out of that college, how did you end up in the oil and gas sector? Which university, how did you launch yourself into that? You could have gone back and, continue with the mining like your father was doing. Most times parents raise children to go back to what they're doing, but you turn out different. Can you just share that, your journey into becoming an entrepreneur and later on as an, philanthropist?
Yeah, so I left school and then I had to go to Kaduna to meet my brother, and then of course to apply for my US visa. Because I was heading to the US. Down the line, it wasn't coming pretty easy, so I had to set up. Because in school, we were involved in a lot of things. We did artisanal work, we did music, we did dancing, we did arts, we did construction. It's more like a technical college.
Yeah.
So we had all manner of things. So I learned a lot in that school. It's a technical college, so you had the opportunity to go to workshops.
Yeah.
That's again what I'm talking about, skill acquisition, right?
Yeah.
And once you acquire the first skill and passion, you never leave it. It becomes part of you. So I acquired a whole lot of skill while I was in school. So while waiting for this whole thing, I decided to set up something like a studio, a music studio. So I set up a music studio while waiting for my visa, and I became a DJ. Of course, in those days, we were doing LPs. LPs, long play. Yeah? Okay, so not these days that you can just do MP3, download music, and online music and stream, blah, blah. It's LP, man. It's gramophone. You just put it and it's playing with a kind of makeshift, loudspeakers, built locally, So, and then I would go and be blasting my music, entertaining people. So I've been. So I was a DJ, man. So it's a passion that has not left me, because music is part of me. If I'm not doing anything, I'm listening to music today. Yeah. So I did that for 1 year, and I tell you one interesting thing that happened. During that time, my brother, like I said, my brother is being an oil mogul amongst many others again from my community. So we always envied them, how they make money, how they spend money, the things they do. So when I was giving money to go for my visa, some guys approached me. I don't know how they knew that I got money. Oh God, that's another thing again. Yeah. Some guys approached me. These guys, they call them money doublers. Do you know that? I don't know if you have anything like that.
Yes, money doublers. Yes. We'll double your money. We call them here money gamblers.
Just from nowhere, these guys appeared to me and said, "Listen, don't worry. If you give us that money, we'll make you get richer than your brother." You don't know what your brother is doing. You think he's doing oil and gas? No, this things you do, but people making him rich. Yeah. So you become richer than your brother. Wow. I said, really? Good at 10. I decided to use my money for the visa to go and double, so I can become richer than my brother. I was already, I was already planning how to buy a Mercedes. I'm going to teach my brother how to make money. Because my brother was already driving Mercedes and cars at that time. Can't you believe? I was already, okay, I'm going to teach my brother today how to make money, right? He thinks he's rich. I'm going to tell him. So I gave them the money. I think about 1,000 of our naira at that time. Oh, the guys were so excited. I didn't see my money. My money was gone.
To this day.
And so on this day, this guy took me to a place and said, just sit here. We're going to prepare your market for you. They call it market. We're going to prepare your market for you. Then we're going to give you this money. But don't forget, at the first time, they gave me some little notes to go and change. Go and try this money so you'll be sure that the money we're giving you is real. It's not fake. I went to the market to buy a few things. And of course, it was good money, supposedly. It was good money, supposedly. So I went with these guys at the last count to go and collect my market, as it's called. My brother. The last I heard was somebody screaming and shouting that police has arrested him, bringing the market. Everybody should run away, that the police is coming to arrest everybody. The guys scampered, and then I scampered one side, and that was how they discharged me.
Wow.
I lost my money.
And did you go back to your father to ask?
I went to my, I was devastated. I didn't know what to tell my brother. I didn't know what to say. So information got to my brother somehow, and my brother called my dad. My dad came. My dad came, a man of wisdom. He said to me, my friend, the only one word he said, you are stupid. Somebody said, give me 1 naira. Let me give you 2 naira. Don't you think? You should have told the person, why not make yourself rich? Why make me rich before you? Why don't you double the money and make the money yourself?